Son, where'd you find this?
That's how you know somebody doesn't respect you. They listen to reply, not to be understood. They cut you off. They minimize what actually matters to you. They laugh at your boundaries, and then they call you sensitive when you try to hold the line. They show up late, they cancel last minute, forget the things you've told them, because in their world, your time, your energy, even your voice aren't a priority. They're just an option. You see, there are two kinds of people. Those who adjust when they realize they've actually hurt you, and those who expect you to adjust so they don't have to change. You don't need to be disrespected loudly to be disrespected deeply. Sometimes you'll see it. It's just in their tone, in their patterns, in the silence after you're known. Respect isn't what they say when they're watching. It's how they act when they think you'll tolerate it.
Construct, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, maybe rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired as a friend on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging the generations remember our story.
Yo. What up? Happy Thursday. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. I hope all is well with each and every single one of you. Thank you for being here, joining me on this roller coaster, this ride, this beautiful and glorious, warm Thursday morning. I hope you got to work safe. Shout out to my poets, writers, content creators, everything, all in between time. In the meantime, shout outs to y'all. We gotta have a conversation, congregation. I didn't know who this person was until recently, but now that we are here, we gotta do some deep diving. Yes, I'm sorry, but I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you scammers. Sorry. There was a clip that I had initially to this. I was going to play it, but I think given current events and the update, that it would be better to fast forward to what is current. Segue. This is a transgendered female, male, who essentially became an influencer in social media spaces. He has his own group. She reaches his own audience. Entertainment, that's subjective. They ended up getting caught up in some fraudulent scams. And what it boils down to is this person was inevitably released, pled guilty. But I'm gonna let this clip play just in case you're not familiar with it, because I didn't even know who it was until I started my TikTok rounds, and here we are. So I'm gonna let her get her balls off. Shout outs to the baddie galore for the report. I'm gonna share my thoughts, and we're gonna keep it moving. Let me bring this up on the big screen. Like, share, repost, let the people know that we are on. Thanks in advance.
All right, you guys, as promised, I watched the full 2-hour interview Dominique Morgan did last night on the Crazy Sexy Cool podcast, co-hosted by Tabitha and Asia. This is the platform she chose to tell her side of the story when it came to her recent incarceration, fraud charges related to her position at the Okra Project, how she really feels about all of the people who made videos about her while she was in jail. Of course, I'm going to recap it for you guys, but this will be a high-level recap. I will not be able to include every single detail that was mentioned in a 2-hour interview, so do not be in my comments yelling at me. And I think this might be a little bit of a lengthy video, so go ahead and play it in 2x speed and get comfortable. Y'all know I like to do my recaps in one take. Dominique started off the interview explaining why she told social media that she was only going to be in jail for 21 days when she actually served 30 days, telling that she went into sentencing believing she would effectively only serve about 21 days because her attorney told her she'd receive good time credit on the 30-day sentence. However, because the Okra Project asked prosecutors to have her remanded for the full 30 days, that's what she ended up having to serve at Rikers. Also clarified that she pleaded guilty to a grand larceny charge after other charges were either reduced or dropped. Throughout the interview, Dominique pushed back against the narrative that she stole money from the organization. In her words, money was moved, but she insists it was moved to support the community through things like bail assistance, housing support, and emergency aid. Also repeatedly stated that she did not take money for personal use and said that that was one of the biggest misconceptions about the case. When asked why she accepted a guilty plea if she maintains that position, Dominique said she was exhausted after years of legal battles and didn't want to spend even more years fighting a case in court. She described it as choosing closure over a lengthy trial. Asked what it feels like to now be the subject of countless think pieces, reaction videos, and TikTok commentaries when she herself has built a sizable portion of her own platform discussing trending topics, internet drama, and other people's stories. Nick acknowledged that the question was fair, but said that it wasn't the first time she reflected on that dynamic. Said that the fallout surrounding the DL Whisperer and other public controversies that she had been in had already made her reconsider how she approached social commentary on her page. She had begun to ask herself months ago how she would want people to talk about her if she were ever the subject of a major story. And while she understands why creators covered her case, she argued that there's a difference between discussing public information and turning someone into a target. Saying that she doesn't take issue with people reporting on the facts, but believes many creators cross the line by adding speculation, personal attacks, and misinformation while she was legally unable to fully respond. Dominique spent a lot of time explaining how she ended up at the Okra Project in the first place, saying that founder Ian Phil Stewart personally recruited her after seeing her work growing Black and Pink into a multi-million-dollar organization. Initially, she didn't want the position, but eventually agreed to split her time between both organizations. As for Gabrielle Sosa and Alana Banks entered the picture because Dominique wanted people based in New York helping run day-to-day operations while she worked remotely much of the time. One of Dominique's biggest arguments during this interview was that the organization's financial and operational issues existed long before she arrived. Claiming she later learned there had been previous concerns about missing funds and described the organization with very little financial infrastructure. She said there was no organizational debit cards, limited banking systems, reimbursements were handled inconsistently, and oversight was often unclear and basically did not exist. And according to Dominique, those structural problems created an environment where accountability was already weak before she even became executive director. When asked directly what she personally takes responsibility for, Dominique admitted she did make some mistakes, including that she should have never accepted the position without taking a closer look at how the organization operated financially. She also said she ignored early warnings and rumors that people were accusing her of wrongdoing because she never thought those allegations would eventually turn into a criminal case. Looking back, she believes failing to address those concerns sooner put her in a much worse position later. Circling back to Gabrielle Sosa and Alana Banks, who I feel like were involved in the charges that were pressed against her, but please don't quote me on that. Dominique said she feels more hurt than angry because she considered Gabrielle family and believes she had helped create opportunities for both women in the organization. We went into a lot more detail about her relationship with Gabrielle, getting her jobs and her capabilities in her role, but I cannot fit all of that in this video. Argued that multiple people had authority and involvement within the organization, but when everything fell apart, she became the sole public face of the scandal. In fact, when asked directly whether she feels like she took the fall, Dominique essentially said yes, argued that larger questions about organizational oversight, leadership, and financial management never received the same level of scrutiny that she did. Dominique also claimed that while attention remained focused on the roughly $99,000 at the center of her case, there were other financial issues and leadership decisions within the organization that she believes were never fully examined. Looking ahead, Dominique said she's not done telling her story. She revealed that she plans to release documents, emails, text messages, audio recordings, and other materials through a Substack that she believes will support her version of events. That this interview was meant to be her first comprehensive response, and that moving forward, she'll direct people to documents rather than continuing to argue about the case online. I'm seeing comments online from people feeling like she didn't answer yes or no about whether she stole the money or not. A viewer watching the live asked the question again during the Q&A portion of the interview. Dominique explicitly says during the 1 hour and 14-minute mark of the interview that she did not take the money. All right, you guys.
All right, look. I see Sarah is in the studio, I see that you can hear me. That's a good thing. I'm about to bring you up here. Good afternoon, good morning. Well, it's morning for us. Uh,
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? How's everyone?
I am good. I am good. How about you?
All good.
Okay, okay. So, um, this Dominique Morgan story. She got arrested. I ain't gonna call you no she, because I like y'all can do that. I'm not. He got arrested for basically scamming people and using the funds to further his cause within his community of men and women, and women, men, whatever you want to call it. He pled guilty. He was recently released, given 5 years probation, house arrest, or whatever. Um, the argument that he's making is that this organization that brought me in was already flawed before I got there. They didn't really have no type of real system. It was messy and unorganized. They're essentially using me to be the fall guy for all of this when they already had issues prior to me. Now, I don't know if you saw the original clip that I had in the account or not, but that's just a quick like summary of what I gathered from this recap. Did you? What are your thoughts? How do you feel?
Look, morning, everyone. When you are embezzling money, and especially your money and your funds, you're going to get caught sooner or later. And who's to say how long he's been doing it? Why is he doing it? And who's to say? We don't know. He could be doing and putting it offshore accounts, embezzlement. Look, if you're doing something wrong, it never sits well with me because it will catch up with you sooner or later. And being a black trans, I know the community is tight knit. I know they will support him, they will encourage him. They probably do like a whole Britney thing, free Britney. They probably do the same thing for him as well. Because, people love that type, when you're unique or you're different and you're trying to advocate. There is always a type of audience and followers. They love that. As much as he's been embezzling, 15 years, 5 years, he's out here on parole. You know what I mean? Who's to say? And I already know. He's already swinging underneath the carpet. You know what I mean? In a sense of, keep everything hush hush so he can continue to do what he needs to do. They always find loopholes. Always. Yeah, anyway.
I don't have an issue with you in your sexuality and your preferences. I have an issue with people.
I can't hear you. Fuck.
I have issues with.
Jeez. Fuck. Ah!
I have issues with people who get invited to the party. You get invited to the party, you start to get your numbers up. The people start to adorn you. you catch fire. The fire spreads. Now more people are listening to you. And more doors are opening for you. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when you start to look at the numbers, start looking at the followers, and your mind starts to shift into different gears. Because now it's not about public service. It becomes about preservation. Sustaining, garnering, increasing, and not in the ways that's healthy and is beneficial to everybody involved. No, it's more so I need to figure out a way to use this celebrity to my advantage. So you start to bend the rules more. Start allowing your privilege to be exercised in such a nefarious way that your attitude and your character begins to slowly come into question. Many arguments come to defend a person without even being being fair about whether or not the facts are here or they're not. I see it all the time in comments that I've made about certain situations, and people will say, do your research, do this, do that, but you're not doing it. Half of the time, the only reason why you feel the way you feel is because you stand on the side of race, favoritism, nepotism. It's a friend, it's this, that, and the third. You really don't have a dog in the fight. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Cool.
Yep.
So my issue isn't with him specifically. It's with the manipulation. So you can say or try to put blame on this organization for being flawed, which could be the case, but you pled guilty. And your excuse is, well, you just didn't want to drag this through court and litigation for a long time, but you pled guilty, which means to some extent, you know you're wrong. But you're trying to cope and use other excuses to soften the blow. No.
And my question or fuel for thought is like, what thinks and what right mind, why should you get away with it? Like, why are you so different to the next person? You know what I mean? Like, when you've done something wrong, you got to pay. What is it? You do the crime, you got to pay the time. Or pay the time, do the crime, in that sense. So I didn't care if you're black. I didn't care if you're white. You're embezzling money across the board, overseas, offshore accounts. You know what I mean? I didn't care if you're a trans, whatever. When you do something wrong, you do something wrong. You know what I mean? And I didn't care what status, what clout, where you're from in the world. You shouldn't be allowed to get any like leniency, or you shouldn't be able to, have the sentence to be softened, so to speak. Why? You know what I mean? Why? Because you're popular? You have more clout? You have more money?
Someone made a post and said, if this was a man in this situation, he's a man, but I'm talking about he didn't have the wig on and all that weirdo shit.
Mm,
he would have gotten 15, 20 years.
longer. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wouldn't have got probation. There
Yeah.
wouldn't be no house arrest.
Yes.
So that shows me that even right now as we speak, we have this unwavering biases within our community. It's not really actually one community. Everybody is split off into their own sections, trying to monopolize
Yeah.
off of the benefits as much as possible by playing this victim card.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
woe is me. I'm a confused person who don't know who
Yeah.
they are, but I was born this way. You're treating me differently because I was born this way and I'm different. That's why you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to. So you should let me get away with stuff because I'm this.
Bullshit. Sorry.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Bang, 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 bang.
yeah. You shouldn't be having any like better or professional, like, you know, any the treatment. Like, okay, hold on. Let's go back here. So you are stealing money. They claim to be 100 grand, so to speak, because he's a black transgender group. Obviously, he's been charged. Faces, 5 to 15 years. Released or not released, it's on your record. You do something wrong, you're going to pay for the consequences, no matter what. I didn't care. And the sheer fact that you took it, you stole it from like resources that people needed, especially this day and age. Yeah, no. No remorse here. I'm sorry. No remorse. Not on this. Nah. Nah. And don't try cry me a river attitude. You know what I mean? They always play that as what you said before or earlier, the victim card. They always pull out that victim card. Why? You know what you were doing. You know you're in the wrong. You're just pissed that you got caught. Okay, anyway, sorry.
No, that's real shit. Real. I'm not trying to hear that shit, man. Come on. Because if it was the other shoe
on the other foot, yes,
we would be having a whole different conversation. And I hate, or I despise. I'm not going to say hate. I despise.
Hate's a strong word. Yeah.
I despise individuals who use emotional tactics to string people along. Like, your audience.
Yeah.
So you use this specifically to trigger that so that you can get the outcome that you want. You're not genuinely coming from a place of, I love y'all, I love my community, I love what I'm doing. All of this is for the betterment of you, me, and everybody in the future, so on and so forth. Y'all really gotta cut the cap with all of that. It goes for YouTubers, podcasters, streamers, life coaches, all that. Like, I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about? I don't understand y'all at all. And then you get upset and triggered when you get called out by adults who don't follow your system.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about politics. I don't care about who knows who and all that.
Yes.
Wrong is wrong. You need to be held accountable for it.
Definitely. Accountable. As I said, you're a living human being. You know how to extort, or you know how to play the game or play the system. Your extortion, as I said, you know what you're doing. You're embezzling money. You're taking advantage of the system. You know how the system works, and then now you want to try play Crimea River. Nah. Another
somebody
one.
made someone made a comment. I wish I could find it.
Yes.
They basically said like a person with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
If the wrong person with knowledge has a certain heart, and they know that the other person doesn't have the same knowledge or is willing to obtain that knowledge that they have, they don't mind using you and benefiting off of your lack of. So
Yes.
if you choose to be willfully ignorant,
Yes.
you can't blame them. But also, they don't mind screwing you over. It's like, all right, who do you blame here?
Yeah.
Some people, like I didn't know who this was until recently. Now that I know who he is, it's making me want to pay more attention to certain stuff.
Mm.
But for the people who support him and has
Mm.
already been with him, you're either willfully following along with this because you like the person and you know that what is going on is wrong, or you don't know at all, and the truth is finally being discovered to you. Either way, I just find it distasteful.
Yeah. Hey, I'm there with you. Look, don't get me wrong. Everyone's different. Everyone's unique. I don't care what avenue. If you want to be black, you want to go white. You want to go white. You want to go black. You want to be a trans. You want to be an LB. You want to be gay. Any of that kind of stuff. Each of their own. But you don't need to pull the wool over someone's eyes. You don't need to be taking advantage of the system. That's where it doesn't sit well. And they know this, and this is the scary thing is they know the type of people they want to target. They know who, because they have this predator energy or vibe about them. Oh, okay, this is an easier target. Okay, let's try on that person. And they'll use and abuse, try to, pretend they're your friend. If they know they can use you to benefit them, oh boy, they'll take it and run. Because I don't want to say it, but I've seen it. Like I'm thinking if you're a little, shy or, very, quiet, or you like to keep to yourself, or, you don't have that right personality, but they see you, in the books or in cafes or because their knowledge is so strong. They're always constantly, they want to read, they want to keep up to date, blah, blah, blah. But the ones that are loud and flamboyant and, oh, look at me, and you know what I mean? And they're the ones just, the show-offs. Inside, they've got nothing inside. That they're hollow. And that's why, unfortunately, they do prey on the vulnerable. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm just, like, this person, like, an ex-leader of a black transgender group is charged. Can I be honest? Who gives a fuck? Sorry. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You got caught and you're just pissed and you're just mad that you've got to pay the time. You've got to do the crime. Simple. You know what I mean? There's no, as I said, for me, when I hear and know that, why don't you get yourself a job? Why don't you earn that damn money? Why don't you put in the hard work, hard labor in that kind of, instead of taking advantage of other people that actually, unfortunately, don't know any better or probably need the resources even more? Look, people like that, I don't like being around. You know what I mean? And they always create their own drama. And then they're the ones walk around playing victim, poor me, blah, blah, blah. And they know how to manipulate. Those type of people just know how to manipulate people and the system and just and they get away with it. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like they've just, I need, I don't want to be around those kind of people, but they get ahead in life and they seem to get further. And I'm just like, how do you sleep at night? You know what I mean? How do you get away with it? Because they've created and built a system and people around them, the cheerleading groups. Yeah. I've seen it with people. I've seen it around. I'm just like, the bigger the group or the higher the person, yes person, because they're afraid. They don't want to, obviously, if they're working for that person, they don't want to step out of line. It's look, what's that? It's like that hierarchy. The higher you are, you're unreachable. You know what I mean? But it's always the gatekeepers. You know what I mean? That keep them at bay and allows them. You know what I mean? Because they know that, we can't be saying this. Okay, and they've got their connections. They've got their people. Hold on. Let me just, text them. Let me make a call. You know what I mean? And it's so fucking scary because I hate this word gatekeeping. Because as you know, and I know, and the audience, they know too, anyone's right mind, they shouldn't be getting away with it, but because they can, and they've got their system worked out, and they've got their, I know you guys call them gatekeepers, I've got other words, and I'm just like, nah. Like I said, I'm just, I want to know what good is he going to do now that he's out in society. Is he going to, I just want to see how it plays out. You know what I mean? What has he learned behind bars? I mean, has he got himself has put himself through university or college? Has he started up his own business? Has he, I want to see what he's going to put back into society. He's had all this time, a lot of the time, because as you know, once you're in that system, or I can't even say the word, but once you're in, why can't I say it? You guys say it. It's INT. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of the word. When you're in the system, you know what I mean? Once you're, because you have a routine, you know what I mean? And the government's paying for everything. You know what I mean? The government is paying for everything. So let's see if he's, put that good use and that good time into society. Now he's back out. That's what I like to know. What has he been taught? What has he been trained? Is he going to put his good skill set, if he's learned anything, into good use? But I know deep down, nah. He's already out. He's even before he even got out. He's already got his own little ventures. You know what I mean? So, oof, crazy. People are crazy.
Hold on a second.
I wanted to actually sign in so I can read the comments of what people are saying, because that always helps too, because I want to hear what the audience have to say as well. I might actually sign in on my phone, because I want the audience member to know, and I want to know their thoughts and their feelings, and are they feeling the same way? Do they feel a particular type of way? You know what I mean? Because if we're talking about it and we feel like this, I'd like to know what their thoughts are. And at the end of the day, I want a piece of the pie. This makes me wild. You know what I mean? Why should I be missing out? You know what I mean? I need to jump on board. You know what I mean? What is it? I only need a few million. That's all I want. I already know what I'm going to do with the money. That'll set me up for life. You know what I mean? I already know where I'm going. Like, hold on. The inflation now, I need 4. As I said, I don't know about you guys, but I play the lottery every week. You know what I mean? I had my little small wins, but I already know. You know what I mean? Everything's all in place for me. I just need the funding. You know what I mean? So we can, for example, have our own setup. Like, as I said, I'm working with all these big companies. With Google and SAG and the foundation and different private entities, and I'm just like, I know they're getting government funded. I know that because I had different talks. Give it to me. I'll make it good. I'll put, good money, put it into good use. But why? Because I'm a little person. Because I'm not saying around with I'm not in that the right crowd. Yeah, it's okay. It's coming. It's coming. It's all good. You know, hard dues or hard work, it does pay off. I'm a great believer in that. Okay, I didn't lose you. I can't hear you. Okay. I can't hear you. Okay, no one's in the chat. Okay, no one's in the chat. Okay. Hello. Oh. Ooh. Is it me? Hold on, let me
Yep. Check. Test. There he is. All right. My bad, folks. My apologies. I It's one of them days. It happens. What I was trying to get at was people get opportunities and it's like you got money. You're not broke. You're doing something that many of us won't get to do, but that still don't be enough. Y'all just gotta have everything. You just gotta have more and more of it. And that's a part of the problem. At least that's my perspective. You just greedy. To answer her question, I don't think Slim is gonna change. I don't think she learned from that. You was only in there for what, 20 to 30 days? Most likely you already had conversations about what you were gonna do once you got out. You got money waiting on you. You definitely have a stream of income waiting on you. You got people that you're getting ready to sit down with. You just sat down with somebody. So Yeah, I don't. You're not getting much out of this. You got off lucky. Anybody else would have been thrown under the bus, and then it would have just been a wrap. Shout outs to Sarah though. Something weird in the air right now. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I'm about to get out of here. I got other things that I gotta chop up. I'll see y'all soon. This evening, tap in if you are around. Be easy. Peace.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, maybe rip bones. But no matter how close I am, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired as a friend on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep. Longing to sing until I surpass peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their bones would bleed. Begging that generations remember our story.